Hello, if you're joining. Join me today, just doing some bread baking, prepping. Oh, that opened easier than I thought it was going to. Let me know if you're joining me. Making, just testing some olive chia batter today. Just testing out. Let me know if you're joining today. I'm just doing some bread recipe testing and talking about ingredients. So just making this the most fiddly job in the world, getting out these olives from this jar. I'm testing an olive chia batter recipe, but do say hi where you're watching from. Lovely to have you along this Tuesday afternoon for me, might be morning for you. And talking all things bread making equipment. All right, I think I've almost got enough. This was a very fiddly job. Just getting them out of this tiny tube. There we go, that will do. How are you today? By the way, let me know if you like olives. So let me know if you like olives. Not my favourite thing, but I am doing this in my memberships. So do you say hi? Just going to finely chop these up, making some olive chia batter just making some olive chia batter today, and going to be testing that recipe for the membership. So let me know, do you like olives? Let me know are you a fan of olives? So I'm just chopping up here really roughly. It's going to go in an olive chia batter. So let me know if you are a fan of olives. I am not. I'm going to be making an olive chia batter with my membership today. Well, at the weekend I'm testing the recipe today, so I've got that all ready to go, and that's with my bread making membership. But let me know if you eat bread making. Thank you. Olives are good, but the kids hate them. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm with the kids. Carrie, hello, lovely to see you. And thank you very much, Carlos. Yeah. So thank you very much. So let me know. Yeah, my children wouldn't eat these either, but unfortunately I don't eat them either. So I'm sorry if you're a really big olive fan, and I really apologise. I think they are really beneficial. I love olive oil, but actually just eating them as is really not for me. So these are going to go into an olive chia batter. Let me know if you've been baking any bread at home, or if you, Carrie, you like them. Yes, they're good. I'm sure there are lots of olive fans out there, and I do apologise. I'm just chopping them really, really small, and I'm going to pat them dry. I probably should have put some kitchen towel down to mop up this, because if you put something really wet, and I've done this in a previous live, if you put something really wet into your bread, you're just going to get wet holes in your dough. Oh, your little one eats them too. Oh, fantastic. She's much more adventurous than I am. Sorry about that. So I really am chopping these up really small. And anyway, I came on today, also wanted to talk a little bit about bread making equipment and ingredients and things like that. A bit more, I've done a previous live on some basic bread making equipment and just wanted to talk a bit more about other things that you can buy. But let me know if there's any, if you bake bread at home, perhaps you have a favourite bread at home, if you like baking bread, or perhaps you've not tried it. What would you like to bake at home? So I'm trying not to chop my fingers off while I'm chatting to you, and also chop these really nice and small. So just do these together. For your bread without any extra ingredients, absolutely. And you can probably make this ciabatta without the olives in it as well. I will probably do one that is without olives as well. But yeah, really good homemade delicious homemade bread is really delicious on its own. If you let the bread dough rise for long enough, it will be really delicious on its own. So yeah, just talking a little bit about bread making equipment as well. I wouldn't necessarily say a knife and the chopping board is, but sometimes you've got to prep your ingredients. Also, if you are interested, if you're looking for new bread making equipment this week, just to let you know as well, that the Prime Day is on, and there are some good Prime Day deals as well on bread making equipment, and I do have some links in the description of this live if you wanted to check out the store. And that is a small ad link. It does mean that for no extra cost to you, I do get a bit of commission if you do I may get a bit of commission if you make a purchase of a service. But do check that out. I had a bread making machine once. Not great at making. Was that you were not great, or I'm sure it wasn't that you weren't great. It was the bread wasn't great. And that is common actually with the bread making equipment, that with the bread making machines, that they think they do a really good job. You can control what goes in them. You can control what what ingredients you use, but that's a really good point, that sometimes they don't turn out the bread quite like you expect. Perhaps not like the crusty one as well. The machine, yeah, Carlos, I bet. And have you ever tried to make bread at home yourself? Because that's a really good one to try. If you haven't tried making your own bread and you're thinking that it might just be something beyond, then do check out the description of this live, because there is there is a link there. You can sign up for my newsletter and you'll get 3 quick and simple bread recipes to try at home. So those are ones that will be easier to do, quick and simple. They can be done in minutes, and a great introduction to making bread, and obviously everything comes out tasting really delicious at home. So that's in the description. You can sign up to my newsletter. It's on my website as well. All right, I'm done all chopping up. I've done them really, really small. You want to be chopping them into really, really kind of fine, less than a centimetre kind of cubed pieces, because otherwise they'll just sink, especially in something like a ciabatta. It's such a light and airy dough, and they really will just be too heavy otherwise. So making that. So yeah, I'm going to be baking this bread with my membership this week. Yeah, Carlos, it is great to make your own, and yeah, it is time consuming. I actually think some of the recipes aren't, and actually the ones that I've listed in that newsletter sign up, if you do get those as a thank you for signing up to my newsletter, they all can be done in minutes, so you're not kind of standing around waiting for your bread to rise, and it is easier to go and buy it. But if you want to make your own, perhaps see the difference, see if it tastes really delicious, then you might see that you see a difference, and perhaps even just once a week. I spoke last week about kind of time-saving tips if you are baking bread at home, so go back and watch that live when we're done. And yeah, Carrie, you love making fresh bread, fantastic. Let me know what your favourite one is to make at home, and whether there's one you want to try. Yeah, it's a really great one to try. Hang on, I'm just going to get a bit of kitchen roll for this. All right, just gonna take the excess moisture off that, because I do not want that adding in. So just making a ciabatta. So also just talking a little bit about bread making equipment here today. So I think previously, and you'll be able to go back and watch this live, you really only need the basics when you start baking bread at home. And I talked about kind of some of my real ones that I would really want to start with. Obviously bowls and potentially a dough scraper. like this, really fantastic. And for me, a non-negotiable is having kitchen scales, digital kitchen scales. So something like this. And I also have these ones from Sourdough. They're a real workhorse. So fantastic. Those. So I'm just keeping up with the comments as well. Thank you, Carlos. Baking bread in a clay oven. Yes. Oh my gosh, I have not tried that. I would love to. So I would love to do that. Oh, and so, oh, I just, oops. Oh, let me just see if I can get that back. I hate it when I'm doing lives and I click a button by mistake. I am so sorry. And let me just have a look. Let me just have a look. So yeah, this is one is all right. I'm not going to be able to get that. Oh, sorry about that. Just pressing messages for no reason. All right, so Sourdough ones. I was just going to say they're a bit of a workhorse. And apologies, I was just keeping up with the chat. I shouldn't get distracted by the chat and also trying to but you were talking about in a clay oven, which is fantastic. All right, so the Sourdough ones are the real workhorse. They're great and really sturdy, solid scales. So if you've not used kitchen scales and you're getting some, I also noticed that these are in the these are in a Primedale ones. So if you're looking for kitchen scales, if you had your eye on some new kitchen scales, do check out the links in this description. I think on the UK storefront, these are in there are Sourdough scales. There are also scales, kitchen scales in the US storefront. There's both links there, so wherever you are. And someone just said, "Why do you look so sad?" I just had to pause my live because I accidentally removed someone from the chat by mistake because I am just being too hasty with my fingers. Carlos, in Spain, yeah, yes, pan de huevo, absolutely. That absolutely sounds delicious. Yeah, enriched breads, absolutely my favourite. Pan de huevo sounds delicious. I would love to try baking that. I imagine does it have butter in as well? Mantequilla. I don't know if it's completely enriched in that way. Yeah, so basically starting with the basic equipment, I'm not touching the chat again now. Someone's saying, why do I look sad? It's because I accidentally deleted the chat. And I do want to hear from you today. Let me know where you're watching from and what you're up to. It's good afternoon, it's kind of lunchtime here. And I was just talking about bread making equipment, but I'm also just testing out a recipe for olive ciabatta. That is what I'm doing today. But talking about basic bread making equipment, but yeah, absolutely, kitchen scales would be my number one, really. I think on top of anything, get your accurate measurements of your things weighed out, and then really helpful if you can get ones like this that are flat. I was just showing these Sourdough ones as well. Really fantastic. And you can add on, so you can just put a bowl on here and then you can on off, and then you can set that to 0 and you can have it in lots of different just there. I don't know if it's going to come up. I don't know how old the battery is in this one. So in the units, and it will come up with lots of different ones, and I tend to have it in grams, but you can do millilitres, things like that, so you can weigh out liquids as well. But yeah, so just have a check. So do have a look at the links in the description, and that is a small ad. I do potentially get a commission if you do click through and buy anything on that, so just a heads up. But I just wanted to come on and share, whilst I was baking along today, that I've seen quite a few good deals today as well. All right, let me see if I can finish making up. What do I think of slower dough breads? Is that slower? Yeah. Of sourdough breads. And they are slower dough. Fantastic if you'd like to bake them. Really great way to bake bread, but it's not for everyone. You may not always want the the taste. So it's up to you, but it's a really great way to make bread. It's probably the most traditional way of making bread, and so it's definitely one to consider taking up and definitely get into if you want to. Have you tried making sourdough bread at home? Let me know. Maybe you tried and you thought maybe this really isn't for me. I'd love to know. All right, just starting off this sourdough. Yeah, this chia batter. It's got distracted by the sourdough there. All right. Let me pop this in. Just following my recipe. So yeah, sourdough breads. And if you don't know, if you've not tried before, sourdough is where you have a starter that you make with flour, and you allow the natural yeast in that flour to flourish, and then you get that flour and water mixture becomes really bubbly and active with yeast. So that is the only yeast you tend to add into your bread. So it's a weaker amount of yeast. It's not like if you have a dried yeast like this, and this is really, really concentrated. So you can just add a small bit in, and it's fairly reliable in terms of rising your bread. With sourdough, it's a bit of a different ball game. You need to kind of be knowing that your starter is ready to bake with. And there's lots on my channel in terms of bread baking for that. So yeah, let me know if you've tried baking sourdough bread at home. If you have a look on my channel, there's lots of videos about sourdough bread making and things like starters and things like that. So yes, Carlos, you were just saying. Yeah, if there's lots of sourdough bread making videos on my channel, so do subscribe and have a check of those if you want to get into sourdough bread baking. And there's also information on there about joining my online course. I do have an on-demand course as well. All right, I'm just chopping up some of these olives. Yes, that goes back, Carlos, you were just saying about things that are added into commercial bread. Absolutely, they've got to be stable on the shelf, they've got to kind of be reliably produced, and sometimes that means adding in things like preservatives, which if you make your own bread at home, then you know that you've not put those in. You know you can choose to put them in. If that's something you chose to put in. That you can avoid those if you want to avoid them, and you can use the ingredients that you want to use. So that's always one of the benefits of making your own bread at home, even though it can seem time consuming. And as I say, I did do a live last week about kind of saving time when you are doing bread, making your own bread from home. All right, let me know if you're watching. Perhaps it's early in the morning where you are, or maybe you've finished Tuesday almost. I'm just testing a recipe for olive chia batter, which I'm going to be doing with my memberships. I have a monthly membership club, and I bake this bread or different bread with them every month, funny enough. This month it's going to be olive chia batter. So I'm just testing the recipe while I'm talking to you, and also talking about bread making equipment. So lots there. Right. Yes, and you can batch bake. I'm going to be making this. I'm going to be making this one into multiple loaves. It's one that I definitely get on board with. And bread usually freezes pretty well. Yeah, absolutely. I was talking about this last week, that if you make your bread in batches and you're able to freeze it, then that's often a good way to kind of save a bit of time. You can maybe make even a month's worth of bread in advance, have it in the freezer, all good to go, and then you can just pop it out the freezer and defrost it when you're ready to have another one. All right. So we're just talking about bread making equipment today as well, and if you are on the search for new bread making equipment, then I've just popped a link in the description of this live, because Prime Day has started, and those links, if you do purchase a service or product through them, I may get a small commission, just heads up. But there's some really good deals today I've spotted, so I've rounded up the best ones for UK and US storefronts. So if you're interested, do check them out. And have a look. So some really good deals on. I've just mentioned things like scales, kitchen scales, some good deals on those. Other things as well, if we were just talking about sourdough, so there's things like bannetons as well on there on both those storefronts. If you use bannetons, if you make sourdough, or even if you make other breads, you may want to rise them, especially sourdough, they're often slack doughs. So you may want to rise them in a banneton. They're a bit wetter, so they tend to spread. So you rise them in these bannetons, and it gives this this really nice. You can see there the grooves inside. You get that really beautiful pattern on the top of your dough. So that's something that's there. And those, not exactly these exact ones, but similar ones to these are also linked in my store. And also, if you're baking sourdough, this looks, I mean, this isn't an instrument of torture, it is a bread making piece of equipment. It's quite big. It's a dough whisk, so you can just see there, and actually you can use it to mix your dough. You can see obviously these spirals, it just brings it all together. It's really great in sourdough, again, if it's a wetter dough, and it breaks up the flour and just distributes it and allows you to stir up either your starter or your dough much more easily. Perhaps if you don't want to get your hands involved, especially if you previously used like a spoon, you can see if it was a closed spoon, all the dough would get stuck to it, you'd be continuously scraping it off, whereas this is easier to go through the dough, and it's got that beautiful wooden handle. It's quite a kind of aesthetic addition to your kitchen, so that's a good one to have as well, and I've linked that as well, ones like that as well, so similar ones to the dough whisk as well in my storefront. If you want to check out those links, it's in the description of this live, so just there. So just talking about sourdough baking and indeed equipment. Yeah, the French breadsticks, so the baguettes, yes, absolutely. They're kind of designed to go hard. I mean, most homemade bread, I think I was saying that in my live last week, that actually it shouldn't be a surprise when the bread goes harder. Oh no, did I add any salt in? Too busy chatting. Gonna add a bit of salt. If you saw me add salt and I'm adding more, let me know. All right, just gonna add a little bit in. It's quite salty with the olives. Don't distract me, I will forget to put in most of the major ingredients, and you do need salt for your bread making. There are a few breads that are made without salt. They still taste lovely, but generally if you make a yeasted dough without salt, you'll find out that it doesn't taste particularly of anything. So I'm just going to mix those ingredients together, but the olives will add flavour into this, and actually the brine, I think they're in brine. But the liquid they're in is also, yes, they're in brine, so it's going to add salt anyway. So yeah, so your bread, you shouldn't be surprised if your homemade bread does go stale really quickly, and especially something like a baguette. It's long and thin, so there's a lot of surface area and not much internal area, so obviously the moisture in it can escape pretty quickly out of the surface of the bread. It will go stale, and it's kind of supposed to go stale, so really have your dough, have your bread every day, and that's kind of encouraging you to have it every day. All right, let me know if you're joining. If you've just joined, hello, I'm Rhiannon. Probably didn't introduce myself at the top, my apologies. I'm just baking, I'm just testing an olive chia batter at the moment, because I'm doing it with my monthly membership. It's called the Bakehouse Club. And unsurprisingly, we bake together every month, so this is what we're doing this month. So bringing together this beautiful dough, this olive chia batter, whilst chatting to you about bread making equipment and sharing some tools and equipment that you may wish to have at home if you think you are looking to bake bread, and also because there are some deals on at the moment through Prime Day, some good deals, and I've linked below in the description if you want to check them out. Things like, not only things like kitchen scales and dough whisks and dough scrapers, but also things like mixers, and I'll just show you mine. I probably should be using it right now because this is a really wet dough. I might have to add a bit more flour into it. But I did notice as well, I have this Kenwood mixer. Let me see if I can lift it up, maybe see it better there. This Kenwood mixer, and obviously you have your attachments here, and that's really great for making batches. And we were just talking about batch baking, so if you wanted to make more, you would have more in this. Oh my gosh, let's go back down. Yeah, so it has kind of 1 to 7 speeds, but I tend to have it on the lower speeds for this. So this is also not this exact model, but there's an upgraded model of the Kenwood Chef. Also, I've linked that in my bio, and there are other mixers as well. that I noticed were on offer. So if you were ever thinking about getting a stand mixer, then that is one to do. Obviously plugs in, and it's great if you are batch baking. So yeah, do check out the link in my bio. All right. Rock salt. Someone's saying, can you use rock salt in a mixture? You can use whatever salt. Sometimes I use sea salt. What I would say is, or I use, quite large flakes of salt. What I would say is grind it up. It needs to be nice and fine so it distributes throughout your dough. So you can use, I guess, rock salt, sea salt, table salt. Most table salt is really fine, and it has an additive in to keep it like running so it doesn't clump together. So yeah, but if you'd rather avoid that additive, then you can use like salt flakes that are just flakes of salt, but they're larger, and you just crush them up before you put them into your dough. And herbs, yeah, I mean, herbs are okay if they're fresh herbs. Things like rosemary and things like that are pretty dry anyway, they're quite waxy, so not too much bother. That they aren't dry, so to speak. So you could use those fresh, things like rosemary, basil I've used fresh. I mean, those kind of leaves, if you chop them up small, I think you can, again, distribute them through your dough. They're not usually too wet. I'm more thinking with wet, things like whole olives or whole fruit and vegetables. And again, did a live on that recently about additions into your bread. You can go back and watch it, but talking about, if you add in things like fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, so things like tomatoes, don't just add them in whole or chopped in half and expect them to sit in your dough. They will make the dough really wet. Hi, thank you, Roman, for joining. Lovely to have you along. Let me know if you bake bread at home. I'm just chatting all things bread making equipment today, and also just chatting about kind of if you can get deals at the moment. If you were looking for bread making equipment, things like dough mixers, larger bits of bread equipment. If you'd had your eye on something, then to check out the links in the description of this live, because it's Amazon Prime Day and there are some really great deals on there. Lovely to have you along. Carlos, if you go back and have a look at my live, I think a couple of weeks ago I was doing, again, with my membership, I did tomatoes. So did a tomato-based recipe there. You could use sun-dried, you could also cook your tomatoes before they go in. Look how wet this dough is. I probably shouldn't have, gonna have to go and wash my hands in a minute. All right, stretch and fold this. Talking about bread making equipment. So let me know if there's any bread making equipment that you are interested in buying at the moment. Perhaps you've had your eye on something, but it's just let me know if there's anything you particularly want to know if you should get. We've just been talking about things like kitchen scales. We're talking about things like dough mixers, talking about things like bowls and dough whisks and scrapers, also things to help you start baking sourdough bread at home, like bannetons, kilner jars, so those glass jars. I'll show you one of those in a minute, but all things that really help you start baking bread at home. You can just start with the real basics, just a bowl and some ingredients, but if you're thinking, I'm ready to up my game, really want to get into bread baking, then it's something to think about and what you would enjoy. All right, where am I from? I am in the UK. So thank you for joining today. Now, this is like a $1 million or £1 million question, Carlos. Can you cook bread in an air fryer? Unfortunately, I do not own an air fryer. Maybe that's what I need to go and look for in the Prime Day deals. I don't have one, so I've never tried, but I'd like to imagine you can. I feel like you can cook everything else in there. I've seen things baked in there. It would just be getting it hot enough to get your crust, but also getting it hot enough to get your crust without it drying out before it baked through. So that's one for me to test. I couldn't give you a definitive answer on that. That would be a good one to try out though. Perhaps the smaller breads, maybe flatbreads might do well in there, because essentially you fry those anyway. A lot of flatbread recipes, you do them in a skillet or on the hob in a frying pan. So perhaps ones like that you could put into the air fryer and test it out. I would definitely like to see that done. All right, lots going on today. Let me know again if you're baking bread at home. We've just had lots of different breads that people enjoy baking, and we had someone earlier who was baking bread with their little one, baking loaves at home. It's a really fantastic thing to do. So let me know. You could eat naan bread all day. Yes. Well, that is the problem as well. If you want to bake bread at home, you might find that it's so delicious. Having said that, if you bake bread at home and you use good, quality ingredients and it is really nutrient dense, you might find that actually you get full after a couple of slices. So that is one of the benefits, I guess, that it fills you up pretty quickly if you've made your own bread. So it goes a bit further. Hello, if you're just joining, I'm Rhiannon, baking here. I'm just baking this olive chia batter, which I'm going to be making with my membership club on Sunday. So I'm just testing out on Saturday, sorry. So I'm just testing out the recipe. Despite the fact I don't like olives, if you love olives, let me know. I'm afraid I'm not in that camp. But also talking about bread making equipment. So do check out the description of this live if you are thinking or you're in the market for some new bread making equipment, anything from dough mixers to dough scrapers to Dutch ovens. Oh, the Dutch ovens, not what I've not mentioned. I'll show you those in a minute. But if you do click through the links, it's Prime Day. There's a US and a UK storefront link there. If you do click through, just be aware that it's a small, I may earn a small commission on everything you buy. So it is an ad in that sense. But they're all linked below. Yeah, let me know what bread could you eat all day, every day? What's your favourite bread? I've already had a vote for naan, and someone earlier was talking, I think I was also mentioning pan de huevos, which beautiful enriched bread, definitely an enriched bread for me. I do like to make the kind of seasonal breads, things like hot cross buns, sweet enriched breads, but I mean, I guess they get too sickly after a while, so maybe not, maybe just one. So someone's saying I love peach pie. Lovely to see you. What am I making? I'm making an olive chia batter here. Testing the recipe for my membership club on Saturday. So monthly membership club. If you join, you can either come along to the live class or watch it on catch up, and you get access to the previous classes as well if you join. It's called the Bakehouse Club. So this is the monthly recipe, a nice summery olive chia batter. It's going to be great. I apologise if it's not summer where you are, but really it's going to be really warm and sunny this weekend here. So perhaps lots of al fresco dining. Get this olive chia batter. It's going to be beautiful, maybe with a barbecue or an outside salad. A salad outside for lunch. Yeah, chia batter. Well, there you go. This is what I'm making, peach pie. Lots of butter. Yeah, very good. So that's what I'm making right now. Chia batter. It's a really, really wet dough, and I'm just putting these chopped olives into it for flavour. So thank you. It does sound lovely. Although, do you love olives, peach pie? I personally, I don't, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to leave most of the taste testing up to other people. A coincidence, yeah. Absolutely. It's a favourite bread, I think. It's a really popular one for people to learn to bake. So that's what I'm putting it into the membership at this time. So yeah, but always a good one to do. You'd be interested in making your own donuts. Well, again, I think if you make your own, you do find that if you've made your own at home, then either they'll be very popular with everyone else, perhaps you've got friends or family that you can share them with, but also because you make your own and you've got that really good, you've got all that really good quality ingredients that you've chosen, it's quite nutrients dense, that you might not be able to eat more than one in a sitting. So we did actually do baked donuts, so perhaps slightly less coated in oil. We didn't do the deep fat fryer version, we did baked donuts in the membership, and they were delicious. They did also go down really well with my children. You only like peach pie. I only like garlic stuffed green olives, but I need to be in the mood. Fair enough. I can take the garlic stuffed, but I'd rather it was, bread, garlic bread. I'm there. Garlic olives, I'm less there. But yeah, I take that. It sounds really delicious. I did see the stuffed olives. I had to go in the supermarket to get the olives, and I was like, this is a part of the supermarket I've never stopped here. Don't buy these. I just got the most basic black olives, so my apologies to all the olive fans out there. I doubt these are the best, but you, again, if you made this at home, if you came into the membership and followed the recipe, obviously you could choose the olives that you wanted into your chia batter, or your bread. A really great addition to your bread. Cheesy garlic bread, yes, now we're talking. I'm trying to think. I feel like there is a recipe. Oh, there is. I don't know if I've shared it on my YouTube shorts. It's on my Instagram. A short of how to bake a cheesy garlic bread, or how to make a cheesy garlic bread. Yeah, that's the best combination. Absolutely. The other one you can do, if you make a big nice cob loaf, if you've got a get together, if you've got a big cob loaf, so I'm talking like one of those like half ball shaped ones with the round top. I mean, you could do it with another loaf as well. If you cut it like a checkerboard, so cut thin slices, maybe a centimetre, well, 2 centimetres apart, thin slices that way, and then slice it that way as well, so it's like a checkerboard. Then into all of the grooves you poke. You could make garlic butter, so just whiz together some garlic and butter, and also some shredded cheese or grated cheese into all of the slots. Wrap it in foil and into the oven, bake that, and it's a really great tear and share. So if you've got a homemade cob, that's a really great one. Yeah, all of that. So that's a good one to do. Maybe not in the middle of summer, I don't know, that might be a bit heavy for the middle of summer, but if you're having like a get together over the winter period, then yeah, that stuffed cheesy garlic bread. So just checkerboard cut, stuff garlic butter and shredded cheese, grated cheese into the slots, wrap it all in some foil or cover it with foil onto a baking tray, into the oven to crisp it up and melt all of the garlic and cheese together. Oh, it's lunchtime here. Is anyone else really starving now? I need to get some olive oil, hang on. Just gonna oil my bowl. So this is acceptable olive. I'll take olive oil. All right. Ah, it's winter where you are. Ah, yeah. There you go. Rush to the supermarket. But it might be the end of the day as well, so maybe tomorrow. Let's get that grated cheese going and all that garlic butter. Fantastic. All right, I'm absolutely covered in dough now. I'm going to leave this to rise. Definitely tomorrow. Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. All right, let me know. That's my finished olive chia batter dough. I'm going to leave it to rise now. So that's going to be a fantastic one to do with my membership. I'm really looking forward to it. And it is, as I say, where we are, it's going to be so hot this weekend. We've already had one burst of heat, and we're getting another week or so of kind of high 20s, 30 degrees. Sorry if you're in the US, it's like high 80s, 90 Fahrenheit. So without air conditioning. So I'm going to be outside with my feet in a pool of water, I think. So leaving your dough to rise. Doesn't have to be dark, but and it doesn't have to be warm, to be honest. Just leave it on the side, cover it over. That's the main thing. You know, don't let your dough dry out. I'm going to get covered for this in a minute when I've picked up all the dough off my hands. Hang on, let me go and wash my hands, and then I'll come back and do that. I'm just hoping that I put all the ingredients in, given that I was chatting away. All right, covered over. Now I'm just going to leave it on the side, not in any direct sun. Doesn't have to be dark, but not in the direct sunshine. Leave it on the side to rise. Fantastic. Oh, peach pie, you're in Perth. What a beautiful city. Fantastic. I know it's colder there at the moment, but wonderful. Do you ever get down to the Margaret River area as well? That's such a wonderful part of the world. And to see beautiful countryside. What a wonderful part of the world, and lovely coastline along there as well. I'm sure you appreciate it. It's making me want to go, although not at the moment. I'm not coming when it's cold, so I want to be able to go in the sea without freezing. All right. So, just to recap, if you're just joining, lovely to have you along. Do say hi. Talking all things bread making. I've just been making some olive shea batter dough. You can see it in there, which I'm making with my membership, and this weekend. So do let me know if you'd like more information about that. It's called the Bakehouse Club. So we make a different bread every month, and we'll be making this olive shea batter, which I'm just leaving to rise now, so just making that this week, and that is going to be our monthly bread for this weekend. So we've also just been talking all about cheesy garlic bread as well, so that is going to be a firm favourite as well. There's probably going to need to be a recipe I put on my blog now. Sounds like a good one. And also talking about bread making equipment as well. So if you are in the market for some bread making equipment, and I did do another live about basic bread making equipment recently, but I was also just talking about some of the deals I found on Prime Day as well. Because if you've been in the market, if you were looking for some bread making equipment, just talking about some deals I found, including on kitchen scales, so things like this Sourdough kitchen scales, but there are other brands on offer as well. So do check out the description for links to my US and UK storefronts. As a disclaimer, that as an ad, I do, if you buy something through those links, then I may get some commission on it. But do check them out, because there's lots of good deals, and sometimes I feel like there aren't that many, but there are so many at the moment. So if you were looking anyway, then it's a good chance to go and have a look and see if what you wanted has gone on offer. But yeah, kitchen scales, things like sourdough, things to help you make sourdough. So not these exact bannetons, but other bannetons are on offer. And I was talking about this dough whisk as well, which is a great thing to help you whisk up dough, as its name suggests. It's got all those openings in it, so it doesn't get all clagged together if you want to mix up sticky dough with it. And bannetons to help your dough rise, especially if you make wet sourdough doughs, and you get that beautiful pattern as well on the final bread. So things like that are on offer. And also things like, I'll just show you my Kenwood. I have this trusty Kenwood chef, and this is an older model, but there are similar ones to this as well. So stand mixers are quite a popular one as well. And we're just talking about saving time when you bake bread. If you want to batch bake, and having a mixer like this, you can see it's quite light. I can pick it up, she says. It's not too heavy, and this one has got a really large bowl attachment. Let me just see if I can find it. So that has got quite a large bowl attachment. You can see it's got the mixer in there. But you get a dough hook like this as well, and a whisk. So you get a dough whisk like that as well. So it's really great. You can make a lot of dough in there. So if you wanted to batch bake your bread, then that is a good one to have as well. So do have a little look if you are interested. If you've been looking at them anyway, then it's a good time, as I say, to check out the deals, and do check those out in the description. I've got links, as I say, to my UK and US storefronts in there. So things like that. There also, I saw it on the US one as well, a really great pizza peel. I was very slightly jealous that's not going to ship to where I am. If you're in the US and you're thinking making pizza and you want a pizza peel, there was a great one in there. And things like sourdough starter kits to help you, like jars to help you ferment your sourdough starter. Everything from oven gloves to aprons, and Dutch ovens as well. So Dutch ovens. I probably wouldn't use it. This is a Le Creuset. I potentially wouldn't use this as a high heat because I don't think they're really, you want to bake bread, and Carlos was just asking, do you need to cook on a higher heat? Most breads are cooked at a really high heat, so kind of 450 Fahrenheit, 220 centigrade, really high heat. So do buy something that you know is going to tolerate those heats. So if you something like this, like a cast iron large dish, I'm just always cautious with ones like this with the whether that would be okay in the high heat. Let me just move this out of the way. But yes, baking in a Dutch oven. The reason you might have one of these or something similar, there are specific Dutch ovens, they're both all on my storefront links as well. But why you have something like this, it's they're cast iron and you put them into preheat. So obviously you wouldn't be getting it out like this with your bare hands, you'd have to handle it really delicately with oven gloves, but it would be at the temperature of the oven. And then you lower your dough in, usually on a bit of paper, but also I did see in the sale that you can get silicone, especially in the US one, like silicone mats that you put your dough on, and then you can lower it in, and they've got handles that you can lower the dough in. So you lower the dough in really carefully because it's hot. And then when you put the lid on, it keeps all the steam from the dough. Obviously the moisture in the dough is coming out. And that is kept trapped inside here, and it really just helps your crust form, and it helps the rise on your bread. Obviously if you've got this heated vessel as well, this heated Dutch oven, that really helps your dough rise and helps your crust form. So some people say it makes a really great bread. Now obviously you can only cook, we're just talking about batch baking, it's a flip, isn't it? Because I could probably get 2 of these in my oven at a push, but probably not. I probably wouldn't get one on the bottom run. So it might be that I'm doing one piece of bread at a time, quite a large one, you could get quite a large loaf in there, but you're going to get one at a time. So it's a little bit of a trade, but have a look, and if you're thinking about getting a Dutch oven, let me know if you've used a Dutch oven. I don't tend to, just because of that need to get a few more in my oven. But if you've got an oven that doesn't get quite hot enough, and you use this to kind of concentrate the heat, that can be great. So it's a good one to use. Yes, use it a pot. I don't know about using a pressure oven, Carlos. I haven't tried that. But thank you. Yeah, the Kenwood. Oh, you were just talking about the Kenwood hi-fi system. Is anyone? I was talking to someone about the other day about getting my hi-fi system back, because going old school with the music, and I need one with a record player on the top as well. So that's what I'm going to need to start looking for. But yeah, Dutch oven. So I was just talking about bread making equipment, and if you are in the market to get some more bread making equipment at the moment, or you're thinking you want to get something, do check out the links in the description of this live. I'll post them in the comments as well when I finish the live. Obviously it's Prime Day this week, and there are some offers on there for lots of bread making equipment, but Dutch ovens and mixers are 2 in there as well. So do check out those links if you would like to. But those can be 2 of the, like, if you're starting baking bread and you've started, I did do a live previously about kind of more basic bread making equipment, but having things like the Dutch oven and the mixer, if you want to start batch baking, are potentially kind of, you're moving up and you want to get more, you get more into it, you're thinking, I want to buy some more bits and pieces to help me bake bread at home. If you're just joining, welcome. It's lovely to have you. Do subscribe to the channel as well if you want to hear more about bread baking at home, bread making tips. Do upload shorts and longer videos each week if I can, and all about bread making tips. And also you can sign up for my newsletter as well via the link in the description. So do have a check of all of those. Also wanted to say as well, on my Instagram, and I'll post a link. I probably should post it in the description, but if you find the Epsom Bakehouse, that is my channel on all social media. So I think you can see there, the Epsom Bakehouse. Then on my Instagram, there's also a channel where I'm sharing these kind of deals as well. So they come directly to your DMs. So you can get up to date. You can just go in there and check. I'll be sharing links to all of these deals throughout kind of Prime Day and beyond as well, because obviously sometimes I see a good deal and it's nice to share. So you can join that channel via my Instagram. All right, well, it's been a good long chat today. I'll be making an olive ciabatta dough, which I've just left to rise now. It's just a helicopter going over there, a bit noisy, or a plane. So beautiful sunshine as well today, so it's been lovely to chat and talk about all the equipment. Yeah, we're making an olive ciabatta dough. I'm just testing that recipe for my membership club, which I'll be doing their lesson on Saturday. So lots going on. All right. So let me know if you've got any other bread making questions. We've been chatted a whole range of them. This chat has been fantastic. Needed a sip of water. And let me know if you've got any other bread making questions. I do try and come on live here. I'll be on a bit more this week, sharing those deals and chatting more about bread making. And do subscribe so you can find out more about bread baking. It's lovely to have you along on the journey. Thank you very much, Carlos. Thank you, and enjoy your bread. I hope you get to bake some at home. If you do subscribe, then you'll get those 3 quick and easy bread recipes that you can bake in minutes at home. So hopefully not taking up too much of your time. You can subscribe to my newsletter in the description of this live, and quick and easy bread recipes there that you can make in minutes. So not taking up too much of your time, not lots of waiting around, and then you can try out delicious home-baked bread for yourself and hopefully be converted to baking your own bread at home. And I will be. And so you might use the pot. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Do let me know how it works out. Just make sure whatever you're using as a Dutch oven, it will kind of tolerate those higher heats in the oven. You want to be up there at like 220 degrees centigrade, like 400, 450 Fahrenheit. So it's a nice hot oven. So just make sure whatever you use is actually okay to use at those temperatures in the oven for extended periods. But yeah, all right. Well, it's been lovely to chat this afternoon. We've gone all over the world as well, so it's fantastic. And I will have to come back on and chat again very soon. But thanks so much for your questions today. And if you want to catch up, this live will be on my it will be on my profile. It'll be on my channel, and you can find me there and let me know what you think and everything else. All right. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you so much.